to all the fashion sewing lovers, I'm back with another tutorial. This video is a part of a mini series called So It Goes with my friend Shania. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a cutout turtleneck crop top in neon fabric. If you like how mine came out and want to make your own, feel free to follow along. It's quick and easy. But before you do so, go on over and click that subscribe button, follow my social media links to stay tuned with me and be a part of the fashion sewing community. So it goes. To create this top, you're going to need your neon fabric, fabric scissors, a pencil, a ruler, your paper scissors, and of course pattern paper to create the pattern. You are also going to need a turtleneck stretchy top or bodysuit that you own that you like the fit of, because we're going to be mimicking the pattern of this item. So on your pattern paper, you're going to take your ruler and create a center line to create your top. Then I'm going to take my bodysuit, fold it in half, and I'm going to line it up with that center line, because we're going to try to get one half of that bodysuit or the top to mimic and shape and draw. On my bodysuit right now, I'm trying to create a marking for where I want my crop top to fall. So as I center and pin it, I'm going to start making markings around my bodysuit to get the silhouette. I'm marking the end of the armhole, making lines for the armhole, the shoulder seam, as well as the neckline. Now that I have all these markings, I'm just going to true the markings with my rulers, my curve ruler and my straight ruler, getting that shoulder, the curve of the armhole, the curve of the neckline, as well as the curve of the side, and using the L shape to get that straight hem. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it until I get to that center line mark, and I'm going to flip it over as a half to get one whole top bodice. To create the back, we're just going to mimic the front bodice that we created before. However, you're just going to make a higher neckline than the front neckline. What I did was I followed that same center line we created and just made a higher curve for the neckline. Again, I'm truing everything, but as you can see, that's what I'm going to do. Now you're going to take your turtleneck from your bodysuit and mimic that. Mine was a little long, so I had to fold it down, but I'm going to basically copy that onto my pattern paper. And as you're copying your turtleneck, you're basically trying to create the length of your turtleneck twice, so I'm adding it the same time at the top, because you have to be able to fold it down, fold it over, and sew it. Now you're going to take the sleeve of your bodice, you're creating another center line, making sure you do it at the half point. You're going to start making markings around your sleeve. I use the pattern weights to pin, to hold down the armhole and kind of lift up the fabric little as little to mimic that seam of the arm. As you can see here, now I'm starting to true those markings to create the sleeves. Once you create half of that sleeve, you're going to cut it all the way up to that center line you created. Then you're going to fold it over that center line and cut the other side. And that's how you get a symmetrical sleeve to create for your top. So now we're done with creating all those pattern pieces. So let's get to it, right? No, we have more to do. So now you're going to take your front bodice and you're going to use your curve ruler to create half of a bodice. We're just going to curve it from armhole to armhole like I'm doing here. Then to create the curve for our cutout, I'm using a curve ruler to create this shape. There's no really explanation for it. You just kind of go with what you're feeling and how much of a cutout and how big you want it to be. So that's what I'm doing here. Then you're going to match up your front and bodice at that shoulder where you're going to create your cutout so you can kind of make the curve for the cutout into the armhole for the back. Now we are going to start trimming away the parts that we don't need for our pattern. Once that is completed, this is how your finished pattern should look like. Everything will be cut once except your turtleneck pattern piece. Now we're going to take our neon fabric, right sides together. Mine is more of a waffle knit. It's a little see-through. Just want to show you guys that. But if yours is not, that's fine. But just be aware of that. But yeah, we're going to put wrong sides out and right sides together and cut out our turtleneck so we can get two pieces. Once you've cut that out, you could take your fabric and lay it one layer down instead so we can start cutting our other pieces that only need to be cut once. I'm placing all my pattern pieces down, kind of giving some room for the bottom of the front and the bottom of the back bodice so I can kind of elongate my top. I'm not really sure of how long I wanted it, so I added just 2 inches. If you're unsure, you can do the same. As you start cutting it, make sure you remember that you have cut this on one layer of fabric. You're not cutting this on two, so it should just be your fabric flat down. This is how your cut pattern pieces should look like on fabric. You should have 2 pieces for the turtleneck. You should have one bottom front, one sleeve, one top front, and your back. For most of this video, I'm using a serger, but feel free to use a sewing machine. You're going to take your 2 turtleneck pieces and you're going to sew the sides. Once you have sewn it, just make sure to turn it over so you can get your turtleneck. Now you're going to take your top front and you're going to hem that curved part. This is how it should look once hemmed. Also hem the top edge of the bottom front. Now you're going to take that top front and the bottom front and attach it together. Here is how your front should be looking with the top front and the bottom front together. Now take your sleeve and you're going to sew the side seams. Now that you've sewn the sleeve, you're going to sew the side seam as I did here, as you can see, both side seams. Then you're going to sew the shoulder seams of the top. This is how your top should look once those components are sewn. No sleeve attached. Now you can put the sleeve towards the armhole and sew the sleeve to the shirt. Now it's time to attach the turtleneck piece to the neck hole of your top. Once that is completed, this is how your top should be looking. It shouldn't be hemmed yet. Now we're going to try to apply our elastic to the cutout part because we want it to scrunch to our body and hold to our body. There is no exact measurement for the elastic and how long it should be. I kind of just stretched it out evenly across the cutout area of my top and started sewing with a zigzag stitch. After you've sewn that, begin to hem your sleeve as well as your top. Once that is complete, this is how your top should be looking. We finally reached the end of our tutorial. This is how your neon turtleneck cutout crop top should be. Hope you enjoy it and rock it out this summer.